Hi girls, what we're looking at today is exercise 1F, stem and leaf plots. And a stem and leaf plot is just a visual way to represent data without going to the trouble of drawing a histogram or an ogive, which is what we've done in past lessons. It can be used to compare two groups of data as well, and we'll look at that in lessons next week. Typically, the questions that you're going to be asked to complete today is you'll be given a set of data, as we can see from our example, okay, that we've got classroom results in the 20s, in the 30s, and in the 40s. And then the question will give you some guidance about how to set up that stem and leaf plot. So in our example, it's looking at doing class sizes of 10. So what that means when you're setting up your stem and leaf plot is you can see that we've got two lines here, and I've drawn the number 2, 3, and 4. And what that really relates to is if we've got results from 20 to 29, they're going to go into this range here. If we've got results from 30 to 39, they're going to relate to where the 3 goes, and 40 to 49 is going to be where this 4 goes here. So the bit that I've just shown you in the pink there, you don't have to draw on a stem and leaf plot. But when you're starting to learn how to draw a stem and leaf plot, it's really handy to mark those things in so that then you can see what values should go where. It is also really important when you're drawing a stem and leaf plot also is to put the numbers in numerical order, and that will become more important when we then go and calculate the median and Q1 and Q3. So you've drawn the two lines in to represent the stem, and you've marked off the numbers of where they go. Then what you need to do is put the other numbers in, okay, so what we call the leaf, or in our case here, the numbers to represent 22, 23, 25, etc., etc. So what we do is we put a 2 for our single digit, so when we're reading off the graph, we've got 22. Then we're going to put in 23, so we put a 3 next to it, 25, 26, and 28. And then what we need to do is do the same for the 30. So we've got 30, so we put a 0, 33, so we put a 3, 35, 36, 37, and 39. And the last group, obviously, we've got 41 and 48. The other thing that you need to do when you're drawing a stem and leaf plot is to write down a key, so an explanation of what the graph actually means, so what your stem and leaf plot means. Because if you draw a stem and leaf plot, you don't actually have to show the original results as well. So what you need to do for your key is to usually pick the first number is the easiest. So we've got 2, then our line and 2, and show that that is actually equal to 22. Okay, so if you do those things, then your graph is accurate and easy to read. And obviously we'll go through later on how we would interpret the shape a little bit more as well. So before you start doing the questions this lesson, we'll go on to one more example as well. So the other type of question that you'll be given in a SAC maybe is that you're given the stem and leaf plot, as we can see here, and then you'll be asked a series of questions. So what I've done again is in pink, you can see that we have 7, it's a little bit different to last time, and a 7 with an asterisk. So it's broken up the groups, instead of being into 10s, into groups of 5. So our first 7 is results from 7.0 to 7.4. And then our next group is from 7.5 to 7.9. And then obviously we've got 8.0 to 8.4, etc., etc. So just a different way to represent data again a little bit, and just means that you're breaking down the groups a little bit smaller. So each group will depend really on what your results relate to. And in this case here, we've got the decimal place. Instead of it being 72 and 76, for example, we've got 7.2. So the first question asks you, calculate the median of the data. So we have 24 results. So if you remember back from when we've spoken about the median in the last few lessons, we have our group of results, so in our case 24, and we break them into 2 equal groups. So that would be a group of 12 and a group of 12. So our median in this example is going to be halfway between the 12th and the 13th result. So what you need to do on a stem and leaf plot is count them up. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our median is going to be halfway between 8.4 and 8.4. As you can see, I've just drawn on the stem and leaf plot. So in this example, our median is 8.4. If we look at our next question, it's asking us to find the upper quartile, so Q3, which is what we discussed last lesson, and our lower quartile, which is Q1. So the way that we do that is we now have 12 results in our lower half and 12 results in our upper half. So if we break that into two equal groups, we're going to have a group of 6 and a group of 6. So if we count along 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, our Q1, or our lower quartile, is going to be halfway between 7.7 and 7.9. So that's going to obviously be 7.8. And we do the same for our upper quartile, okay, or our Q3. So we count them up. We've got 12 results and we're breaking them in half. So we're looking halfway between our 6th and our 7th result. So 8.4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our Q3 is going to be halfway between 8.8 and 8.9, which is going to give us a result of 8.85. So you could either work it out in your head to work it out that it's 8.8, or what you could also do is add those two numbers together, so 8.8 and 8.9, and then halve it, because that will give us halfway between the two. Okay, so our Q1, to recap, is 7.8, and our Q3 value is 8.85. So the last question that you'll be asked to do is find the interquartile range, and hopefully you remember from last time that our interquartile range is just Q3 take away Q1. So in our example, our interquartile range, which is a measure of spread, is 1.05. So hopefully, girls, that was useful for you. Now it's your turn to practice the questions so that you get really good at drawing stem and leaf plots, and make sure you have some good notes recorded as well. Thank you.